Good morning, and thank you very much for joining once again a new publication of results of Latin NCAP. In this opportunity, we're going to show you the last publication of results of phase 14 of Latin NCAP. And as usual, we're going to start with our video. So in this opportunity, we have tested the Fiat Pulse 4 airbags as standard, made in Brazil. The vehicle, as explained, is made fully in Brazil, has 4 airbags as standard and optional AEB systems. The Fiat Pulse was rated 2 stars, and we're going to start sharing the different areas of assessment. Frontal crash test showed stable structure in the footwell area and also in the general structure conditions. General was good to adequate protection to the adults. In the frontal impact, the child occupants showed a head exposure for the 3-year-old in the frontal impact despite using isofix seats and rearward facing positions, which is highly recommended. That explains a little bit of what we usually say, that what we are seeing here is the result of a combination of a child seat and a vehicle. And these child seats have shown good performance in other cars. So we believe that it's something linked to the interconnection with the car, and we believe that can be improved in the future. So the head contact of the 3-year-old with the front seat explained the result for the child occupants. We are now watching the side impact protection. What we can see from clearly from the side impact protection, the structure could have been preventing, could have prevent less intrusion probably, but when it comes to the side ahead protection, the side just protection for the adults, they worked well during the side impact. Here we see the child occupants. For the 1.5-year-old, the protection was full, but for the 3-year-old, there was a clear contact with the other child seat exposed in the head. This explains, once again, lack of points or points reduction with the child occupant protection in this vehicle. We're now watching the side pole impact test. The side pole impact test, the restraint system showed good protection on the biomechanics, but the coverage of the airbag, which is only a thorax head airbag, and it's not a cortina airbag, explains the point reduction as well for the adult occupant protection. And this is something that was highly criticized, and Latin NCAP insists that all cars must have side cortina airbags as standard. This thorax head system can prevent some of the injuries, but not offering a full coverage as we expect. The whiplash protection or the rear impact protection showed full protection to the neck, which is also good, and from a car developed, or we understand that this car was developed with the concepts of meeting Latin NCAP requirements. Pedestrian protection in general was good for the head in the center of the hood, but the rest of the car showed a lot of marginal and limited protection. When it comes to the upper leg, there was poor protection towards the side of the car, but good protection toward the center of the car. And when it comes to the lower leg, there was a good protection in general. Pedestrian protection can and should be improved. When it comes to electronic stability control, the car under the robot conditions showed a pass condition, and when it comes to the MUS test and different consumer testing programs, it was 80 kilometers an hour and 70 kilometers an hour, the maximum speed that the car reached without any problems. It is important to highlight the reason that explained the 2 stars. First, when it comes to the side head protection, Latin NCAP has been insisting that the cortina airbag is the way to go. Manufacturers are still finding ways to have a good score on the side protection with thorax head. And this is not the only car. We showed also the result of the VW Polo some time ago with a better protection on the side. In this case, we insist that this is not the way to go, and that explains a little bit of the limited performance in the adult box. When it comes to the child occupant protection, the limitation of the car was the protection on the head of the 3-year-old dummy, which could have been better in the front and the side as well. And this also is a reason to give the points down. The child seat availability also showed problems with the full availability requirements of Latin NCAP, and that explains also a point reduction for the child occupant protection. Pedestrian protection was with a low score comparing to other competitors. It could have been better, but not so bad. But the car needs to be improved in some critical areas, especially for the passive safety. And last but not least, the safety assist box, the main issue that was confronted with, Latin NCAP was confronted with, was the way that the seatbelt reminders in the rear rows are indicated, and how the system works to warn the driver. And this explains why the rear seatbelt reminders did not score. ESC was okay, And also regarding the speed limitation, everything in there was okay as well. It's important to say that this car has AEB systems as optional, not a standard, but the AEB systems do not fulfill the basic requirements of Latin NCAP for or preconditions to be tested and scored. Despite that, Latin NCAP offered Fiat to test the AEB systems, and even if they are not able to score at this stage, what we offered the manufacturer is to test the systems to inform consumers, and when the systems or the car meets the minimum requirements to be able to score in Latin NCAP, therefore the full score of the car can be easily updated online and right away after the changes. But once again, the manufacturer rejected that. All that explains the 2-star result for the Fiat Pulse. And once again, we highlight our concern with the Stellantis vehicles. Despite in this particular car, we have seen that the manufacturer paid more attention than usual to Latin NCAP requirements. And we would like to see this kind of strategy or this kind of approach in all the lineup, in all the fleet of Stellantis cars across all the brands, from PSA and FCA brands as well. And we expect to see that in a pretty short term. This has been the last publication of Latin NCAP for the year 2023. We thank you very much for your support. We would like to acknowledge and thank very much to our main supporters, Global NCAP, Towards Zero Foundation, FIA Foundation, Bloomberg Philanthropies, ICRT and IDB. We thank you all very much for your support, and also we hope to see you next time in 2024. Thank you very much. Until then, Happy New Year, Merry Christmas. Bye-bye.